Mantras of our Divine Mother, date 23rd November. Our Divine Mother says to live in the Divine with a life quite new, a life solely made of the Divine, of which the Divine should be the Sovereign Lord. And so all the troubles will be transformed into serenity, all anguish into peace. With my blessing, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Divine Mother from the book The Mother, Volume 15. Topic: Krishna and Radha. Our Divine Mother says, Lord Krishna represents the universal Godhead and the immanent Godhead, He whom one can meet within one's own being in all that constitutes the manifested world. And do you want to know why He is always represented as a child? It is because He is in constant progression. To the extent that the world is perfected, His play is also perfected. What was the play of yesterday will no longer be the play of tomorrow. His play will become more and more harmonious, benign, and joyful to the extent that the world becomes capable of responding to it and enjoying it with the Divine. Our Divine Mother says, Krishna's play is a power of progress veiling itself behind appearances. Krishna's play in matter is beauty, love and joy are comrades, a play which widens and makes you progress. Krishna's play in the physical is the rule of the avatar upon earth, that is to say, the realization of the new divine world. Question: Sweet Mother, can you tell me whether Radha actually existed? Volumes have been written to prove that she did not. For this, our Divine Mother says, surely she has lived and is still living. Radha's consciousness symbolizes perfect attachment to the Divine. Next subtopic: Kali, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Saraswati. Question: When people speak against you, says a sadhak, when people speak against you, I feel as if a big flame with many tongues is arising in me and the person in front becomes docile. For this, our Divine Mother says, it must be Kali's force which you evoke. Next question: how is the intervention of the Mahakali force felt? For this, our Divine Mother says, it is felt as if something swift, sudden, decisive and imperative. When it intervenes, it has a kind of a divine or supramental sanction behind it and is like a fiat against which there is no appeal. What is done cannot be reversed or undone. The adverse forces may try, may even touch or invade, but they retire baffled, and it is seen as soon as they withdraw that the present ground has remained intact. It is felt even in the attack. Also, the difficulties that were strong before, if touched by this fiat, lose their power, their verisimilitude destroyed, or become weak, shadows that come only to flicker and fade away. I say aloud, says our Divine Mother, I say aloud because this supreme action of Mahakali is comparatively rare. The action of the other powers or a partial action of Mahakali is more common. Of all the aspects of the Mother, Kali most powerfully expresses vibrant and active love, and despite her sometimes terrible aspect, she carries in herself the golden splendor of an all-powerful love. Kali rarely acts in the mind. In the higher domain, she is the power of love which pushes towards progress and transformation. In the vital, she is the power of destruction of falsehood, hypocrisy, and ill will. All that is good, truthful, and progressive is never destroyed by her. On the contrary, she protects and sustains it, says our Divine Mother. Behind all destructions, whether the immense destruction of nature, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, cyclones, floods, etc., or the violent human destructions, wars, revolutions, revolts, our Divine Mother says, I find the power of Kali, which is working in the earth atmosphere to hasten the progress of transformation. All that is not only divine in essence but also divine in realization is by its very nature above these destructions and cannot be touched by them. Thus, the extent of the disaster gives the measure of the imperfection. The true way of preventing the repetition of these destructions is to learn their lesson and make the necessary progress. Integral wealth of Mahalakshmi, wealth of feelings and action in all fields of activity, intellectual, psychological, and material. Saraswati's mission is to awaken the world to the need of perfection, but perfection itself belongs to the Supreme Lord alone. No one else can even know what it is. One sadhak asked the mother, Sweet mother, please help me to have a clear representation of the four aspects of the mother as described by our Lord Sri Aurobindo in his book, The Mother. For this, our Divine Mother says, in their aspect above the overmind, in the higher regions, the aspects of the mother have very simple forms and don't have multiple limbs. All the details and complications are appearances mostly added by men in order to give a symbolic expression to the invisible qualities. Next subtopic, the avatar. The avatar is the supreme manifested on earth in a body. Our Divine Mother says the avatar, the supreme divine manifested in an earthly form, generally a human form, for a definite purpose. The divine, being all-powerful, can lift people up without bothering to come down on earth. It is only if it is part of the world arrangement that he should take upon himself the burden of humanity and open the way that avatarhood has any meaning. Men tolerate the presence of the divine upon earth only on condition that he suffers here. Only when men depend exclusively on the divine and on nothing else will it no longer be necessary for the incarnate God to die for them. The chief purpose of Avatar is to give man a concrete proof that the divine can manifest upon earth. Unless your aim is the divine realization upon earth, at any cost, take good care not to draw too close to the divine messengers, for their action is like a hurricane that sweeps away all established things, says our Divine Mother. Next topic, the world today. Our Divine Mother says we are at one of the hours of God, as Sri Aurobindo puts it, and the transforming evolution of the world has taken a hastened and intensified moment. It is true that we are passing through a difficult period. We means the world, but those who remain steady will get out much stronger than before. We are definitely not living at a time when men have been left to their own means. The divine has sent down his consciousness to enlighten them. All who are able to do so should profit by this. Truth will conquer in spite of the turmoil. Even within the confusion, there is the seed of the divine order. Inwardly, things seem to be improving. Outwardly, a sort of disintegration seems to be at the door. Where do we stand, sweet mother? For this, our Divine Mother says, in front of a beautiful realization. Every day things seem to become worse. In truth, we feel more and more disgusted with the old rotting world and are more and more convinced of the necessity of founding somewhere out of the well-trodden tracks a new center of life in which a new and truer light can be manifested. A new world, no more based on selfish competitions and egoistic strife, but on general and eager endeavors to promote the welfare, knowledge, and progress of all. A society based on spiritual aspiration instead of lust for money and material power. What I see is the world of tomorrow, but the world of yesterday is still alive and will still live for some time. Let the old arrangements go on so long as they are alive. Upon earth, the changes are slow to come. Do not worry and keep hope for the future. Our Divine Mother says, let us wait and see. The result is sure, but the way and the time are uncertain. Next subtopic, darkness and light. Our Divine Mother says, in spite of the night, the spiritual light is there. Light must illumine the consciousness, and the shadows of ignorance must be dissolved in all. Open your heart, and the light will enter and dwell within it. Life is a journey in the darkness of the night. Wake up to the inner light. All veils must be dissolved, and the light must shine fully in the hearts of all. Every obstacle must disappear in every part of the being. The darkness of the ignorance must be replaced by the divine's knowledge. The light is everywhere, the force is everywhere, and the world is so small. A new light is dawning on the world. Wake up and unite to receive it and welcome it. Some men in the darkness, when they seek knowledge, forsake the light where they are, only to enter into what is for them a new darkness. In their blindness, men leave the light and go to the darkness to obtain knowledge. So let us stick to the Mother's feet. These are the words of our Divine Mother.